Hey, what's up guys? Steven, the Salon Guy here. And today I'm going to do a haircut that I've gotten a number of requests for. And it is basically how to go from long hair, as you can see this mannequin right here, to shorter hair. I know it's intimidating. This is gonna be a great video for people that are just kind of in the beginner phase of hair cutting, even to advanced. So we're gonna cut a lot of this off. We're gonna do something really creative, really fun, and I'm gonna help you take your fear out of doing makeovers like this. So I'm ready to go. Let's get started. All right, so the first thing that I like to do is, especially when I'm going longer to shorter, is put the hair into a ponytail before I cut it. Now keep in mind, I am gonna go relatively short, and I am gonna cut this on an angle going shorter to longer. But when you do cut the hair in a ponytail, just remember that this is all going to come longer this way. Also, don't put it too high. See how this is kind of right here? You wanna make sure that you actually pull it down enough so that you have some hair to work with up here. I've seen people butcher the hair when they put the ponytail way up here, then you get all these steps into here and it makes it a lot harder. So I'd rather bring the ponytail down a little bit and give myself someplace good to start and go shorter in here if I have to. So as you can see, I'm pulling this down so I have some hair to work with so it's not too short, even though we are gonna go shorter. So here's the ponytail. You put it right in here and I'm gonna cut above the hair. All right. And sometimes, believe it or not, here's the ponytail right here. All right, I always like to give this to the client as a souvenir. Say, here you go, you can have this. You can also do it when it's dry, whatever you want to do. But toss this, get this out of the way. And now here's what's gonna happen. All this hair is going to come forward on an angle, and we've got some hair down here to work with. We're gonna cut all this off, but this right here is a good place to start because it's right kind of where the hairline is, and it's not way up here, so I don't have steps way up here. So now I can actually work this in. So now let's begin to work in the back of the head and the haircut. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create a really kind of extreme angle going over to one side. So I want to take it relatively short on one side, probably this side here, and then come down on an angle to where the other side is extremely long. All right, something fun, something creative, and something a little bit different. So let's create our side parting first, and we can do that, find the natural part by simply combing the hair back, pushing it forward, and seeing where it wants to fall. So it looks like a good place for the hair to fall right into here. There we go, so we're good now. What I'm going to do actually is something that you might not normally see, is I'm going to actually start on the side. This is gonna be my first section, is right on the side of the head rather than the back, because what I wanna do is I want to give myself a good guide of where I'm going to start and then where I'm going to end up. So I can start here and then work this into the back and on the other side. So here is gonna be my first section. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna tilt the head down a little bit this way, and I'm going to lock in with my comb like this, and I'm going to hold it with no tension, just push the hair down like that, and I'm going to cut a line right here, right behind the back of the ear where it separates the front and the back. Okay, I'm gonna take one more section, and I'm going to comb that straight down, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna comb it down, no tension whatsoever, and I'm cutting upwards. This way I have a longer point right there. Now, here's where things are gonna start to get interesting. So we're going to take a section here, right above it because it's still a little too thick. And what we're gonna do is we're now going to start to create a little bit of shape right into here. There's where we're gonna go, and we're gonna cut upwards like that. So we're creating a little bit of graduation, which is gonna give the hair a nice shape. Follow the guide, and we're gonna do one more section right here to where we cut our last section. We're combing it straight out from the head. There is our guide right underneath. And there we go. This is the whole side right here. And now what this has done, it's created a beautiful, nice little soft bevel, as you can see right in through here. This is exactly what I'm looking for. So now is where it gets interesting, because we have this one more piece right here, and we still have to connect this all into the back, and you're probably wondering, how on earth are we gonna do that? Well, let's finish this side here on the parting. Okay, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna connect this, but also extend the angle up a little bit, because we do have a new guide that we're gonna be using. And we're gonna take one more piece, one more section right here, combing this back. There's the guide, and cut. And you can see my body positioning. It's causing my hands to be held out here to create some graduation. And look, we've got beautiful shape. It kind of bevels in nicely, and we've got a shorter to longer angle. So now, how do we connect this into the back? So let's take our first section, and our guy is going to be right where that shortest piece is. And we're gonna cut going downwards, palm to palm, so that we can get close towards the hairline in the back. And let's do one more piece right down here in the back. So, look what we've done here. We've created our section and our guide right in through here. So now this connects. Next section, same thing. There's our guide. And now we're gonna cut palm to palm, and we're gonna follow this all the way down into the nape area like we just did. Cutting palm to palm actually ensures you can get it a lot closer to the scalp, which is good, especially if you do want to get really, really tight in there. Coming over the top this way, I don't suggest, because you're going to hurt yourself, trust me. Next section, and we're going to continue the same pattern throughout the entire haircut. Let's come on this side here so you can see a little better, hopefully. Now, as you can see, we're starting to elevate this a little bit. And we're going to follow the same exact pattern. Hopefully this is going to be easier for you. If you're following along, that's awesome. If you're having any problems, you can always stop the video and go back. And we're going to cut all the way down into the nape. So let's just see where we're at so far. Now we can go back here a little bit closer if we want, and just shape that up right into there. But I think it's creating a beautiful shape, beautiful texture, beautiful shape. And I always like to go back in at the end, and really, if we want, we can take this really, really short back in through here. But what we're gonna do is continue this throughout the whole back of the head. There's our guide right here, where we left off. We're gonna follow this pattern, follow this guide all the way, doing diagonal sections, cutting downwards. And the reason I'm cutting downwards, again, is so I can get closer by cutting palm to palm with my hands. Don't forget to go all the way down to the bottom, because you don't wanna skip any of those hairs, and you don't wanna come back and be like, wait a minute, what is going on? Where's all this hair coming from? So as you can see here, section by section, we're getting there. Let me move my elbow out of the way. Here's the guide. A lot of this with hair cutting, especially if you're new to hair cutting, is understanding where the guide, seeing the guide, and understanding what's gonna happen after you cut. You have to know what you're doing while you're cutting. That's crucial. And that's what's gonna help you become a really, really good hairstylist. Is knowing when you cut something, what is it gonna do? What's the end result? I know cutting palm to palm that this is gonna allow me to get closer to the scalp. And it's always good to go back and cross-check. All right, it's always good to do that. Next section, you don't wanna you wanna kind of split up your sections, because we already cut this. We've already cut this piece right in through here, all right? This whole section, we don't wanna go over it again. So you wanna kind of leave the past behind. Here's the guide. You always wanna look for your guide, make sure that you're in the right direction. You're not cutting any new hair, because that always does not work out well. Keep working towards the base. The base is the nape line, the neck. I always go back and double check. Sometimes the hair will kind of just pop out, and you'll see if something's off. It'll be very, very obvious if something's off, because it'll look longer, you'll see steps, and it's normal. All right, if you can get it in one shot, then good for you, but it's normal. So here we are, still cutting palm to palm. All right, I'm still cutting palm to palm because I'm keeping my body in a good position. I'm not making my body uncomfortable, or I'm not making myself in an awkward position. I'm making sure that I'm right here in front of the section where I'm cutting, and I'm able to see and execute what I need to execute. If I were to come over the top this way, all right, look at my body already is going like this. It's I'm already hurting from this. So you don't want to do that. Just follow this pattern throughout the whole back of the head. Now we're in the middle, just about in the middle of the head. And now I'm combing this pretty much straight out from the head. And then what we're going to do is we're going to switch up, and we're going to start on the other corner, and we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to end up meeting up right here in the middle. All right, so we talked about wanting to have an extreme look, all right, an extreme angle. And I think that's pretty much what we have here. Now it's just a matter of how extreme do you want to go. So let's go about right here, and this is going to be our extreme angle. You can see, let's lower the camera a little bit. There's our extreme angle. Works all the way down. We're going to work all the way down into this piece right into here, which is very, very extreme. Now the key is, how the heck do we blend this into the back? So let's continue to work cutting our baseline, which is going to be the bottom here, and we're going to connect this into the back. And we're simply going to take this piece. Remember, we worked into the back here. So now we can actually create a guide right in through here. So watch this. You see this piece right here? That's going to be your guide. I don't want to put my elbow in your face. I apologize. Here's the guide right here from what we cut before. We're going to cut this straight down. Again, still keeping it palm to palm. But now we have something to work off of that's going to angle towards the front. So it's all working in this way. Here's our next section. We're going to bring this back. We're going to bring this all the way down into the corner, down through here. Next section, comb this all the way back. We're going way back over here. There's the guide from underneath from before. Now we're going to drop all the way down through here and bring it all the way down to the corner, working in panels so we don't cut the front. We want to keep that extreme angle, remember, and we're going to. Now we're holding our hands a little bit lower. There's the little corner right there, and we're keeping and maintaining that angle. Now let's take the whole front piece right here, this whole front piece, and let's bring it all the way back here, and we're going to work the angle in just like that, combing this all straight back. And there we have it. Now watch this. Watch this. Let's comb this down. All straight down. And look what's happening. We've got this beautiful angle going now shorter to longer, all the way to the front. It works all the way down like this. So you've got this extreme shorter piece right into here. You can tuck behind the ear, and then it works all the way down into this longer point. Now we still have some work to do into the back. We still have some work to do into the back. You want to double check to make sure that this all looks good and it's not too heavy. So we're going to do that simply by cutting the opposite way of how we just cut before. And the little longer hairs are going to jump out at you if they're longer. And what we can do right now is bring this base up by simply cutting it straight across. Remember I mentioned I want to bring the base, the neckline up? Well, we can do that. Just a little bit into the back. And let's take a look and see what we have on this side here. Constantly comb and check, comb and check. There's the angle. If there's any pieces that need to be cleaned up, now's the time to do them. And you can do that simply by combing it straight down, and visually, you can see where the angle is. You can sharpen that line up. Sharpen the line up if you need to. If not, then we're good to go. So we've got a beautiful blend now. Here's where I'm going to come over the top, and I'm just going to remove any excess weight that I see. Okay, so now, what do we do with the haircut, with the layering? How do we work this in? So let's talk about the layering and how we're going to remove some of the excess weight in through here. All right, so let's start right in through here. What we're going to do is we're going to comb everything straight up, and we're going to remove any excess weight. And we're going to do that by simply cutting the corners right in through here. And what that's going to do is it's going to give the hair a little more movement and freedom and not look so heavy. Now we're going to work towards the middle part of the head. There's that excess weight right there, and we're going to cut that. There's the excess weight and the excess length, and we're going to cut it. And we're simply going to make this a very, very movable, free-flowing, amazing haircut that anything that you do will really, really look good. And that's what we want. We want something really free-flowing and something that's going to look awesome. So I'm just following the contour of the head. All right, I worked into this corner, but now here's where it gets fun. Look at all this long hair right into here. That's great, but it's all excess weight. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to cut this to go shorter to longer, and we're going to remove the excess weight that's allowing it to be a little too heavy and bulky. So we're combing it, following the pattern of the head shape. There's the longer hair right there. And we're just going to cut going towards the face, going shorter to longer. Push this hair out of the way. Go shorter to longer, and there we go. We're following this pattern throughout the entire back of the head, and this is crucial for this type of haircut because you don't want to have a lot of heavy pieces. You want the hair to be really, really loose, and there we go. There's a little bit extra weight right there. Comb this all straight up from the head. Body positioning is key. Have you noticed I haven't really moved at all? My elbow, however, is doing most of the work. The elbow is what's pointing straight up. Sorry, we got a little bit of a knot here. Don't you guys hate knots when you're cutting hair? Then you have to rip the client's scalp to get the damn knots out. All right, there is the little excess weight right in through there. And let's go right to the very, very front, comb it straight up. Now remember, this is really, really extreme. And there's that little bit right there. So what happens, look at this. You're gonna get longer hairs that come over this way. That's the thing. This haircut is designed to work over. So here's what we have in the front. So here's what that layering did. It actually helped connect the dots here And it also is allowing for us to have a more blended haircut if we wanted to kind of sweep it all over across this way. Now it kind of works in through the shape, and we've got some movement and some texture going on throughout the top. So let's blow dry it and see what we got. Folks, I swear to you when I say I have not been drinking. This came out, I don't even really want to do any finishing work on it because it came out great. I mean, I think it's unbelievable. It's got a great shape to it. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring everything forward, and I'm using the Lumina collection. This is a cordless smoothing iron from Neuro, from Paul Mitchell Pro. This is unbelievable. It's cordless, works wonders, and all I'm going to do is simply just smooth this out a little bit, give it a little more of a softer kind of finish to it, make it lay a little bit flatter, closer to the head. And I'm going to do this throughout the entire head. All right, just really doing like kind of a one pass, making sure the cuticle's sealed, making sure that it's nice and smooth. And what's great about this iron is that I can literally move around with it, and it doesn't prohibit me from having to stay in one spot or trip over any sort of cords, which is really, really what is amazing about this professional tool. All right, now we're gonna work this into the front. Pretty standard as far as when you're smoothing out hair. Just really, really give it a one pass. And now let's go to the other side. And what I like to do always is just simply brush the hair or comb the hair out of the way. So it's, you don't need to clip it or spend 45 minutes. You can just simply brush it out of the way and get the job done quick. There we go. It's really, really coming together now. Really, really smoothing it out. I like to bring all the hair forward so I can see exactly what's happening when I smooth it, and it's looking amazing. So what I want to do is just go back in and do a little bit of connecting right in through here into the front and the other side. So let's just angle this down. This is really, really extreme, this haircut. I mean, like, really extreme. It's a super sharp angle. You don't really see a lot of this as much, but I think, and I figured it would be something new and something different. And please share this video if you found this helpful. So as you can see, it's got really, I mean, this is pretty sharp, folks. This is definitely a very, very sharp, unique look. So we comb this down here. There's where the guide is. There's this piece. What I'm going to do is I'm simply going to slide cut this down from this corner to that corner right there. And what that's doing, it's allowing this to now work itself into, now of course she's blind now, she can't see, but if this were to go over this way and you want to create a really, really sharp, sleek look, you can now work this all in, and it now has a more sleek kind of angle and shape to it. So now I'm going to spin this around. This is done. I've done absolutely no post-cutting to this. If you really get a good haircut from the start, you don't have to go in and do really much of anything. Not to say that it's bad, but I think this is great. I think it's really, really amazing. You can also slick this behind the ear and tuck this behind the ear as well, which I think looks very, very glamorous. And this goes over this way, which I think is really, really sexy, to be honest with you. This is a sexy haircut, man. I mean, there's no denying it. So let's turn the head around slowly. As you can see, you've got the beautiful angle right in through here. I think it came out gorgeous. Works all the way in. And look at that steep angle. Look how sharp that is. That is crazy. And I really, really enjoy doing this. I know this was a little bit longer of a step-by-step for you guys, but I really couldn't be happier with how this came out. So, thank you. Well guys, thank you so much for watching. I really, really hope you enjoy this video. Please share it, and I hope you guys learn a lot from it. I know I had a lot of fun doing this, so thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for more tutorials with the Salon Guy.